Well, I'm sitting here entering the Forbidden City, and this is just so cool. Sometimes I have to remind myself of how fortunate I am to travel around the world, see all these cool places and do this stuff, because really what I'm about to show you is just stuff that dreams are made of. Wow. Well, I'm doing my tour here in Beijing, and one of the things that I realized right away when you come to Beijing, you can do this without a guide, but really there's so much history here that I really highly recommend a guide. And I got my guy here, Charlie.
You know, here was an off-limit to the commoners for nearly 500 years. It used to be the imperial palace. Here, not only you can enjoy a large collection of the imperial, relics from the old times, but also like a wonderful museum of Oriental architecture. Yeah, so much to learn about the Chinese history and culture.
The Forbidden City is everything that I had hoped it would be. This really was an excellent place to come and spend several hours. You could easily spend an entire day here and not get bored. There's so much to see here. And it's one of the problems when you come to a city like Beijing and you have limited time, is you got to try to see as much as possible. But I would highly recommend that if you can give yourself a full day here in the Forbidden City, it's definitely worth it. Throughout Beijing, wherever you go, you're going to find Hutongs. Essentially, these are small neighborhoods scattered throughout the city. And this is the single best way to get a feel of what Chinese life is like here in Beijing. There's several different ways that you can see the Hutongs. You can take pedicabs, you can rent a bicycle, but for me, the best thing is just to simply get out and start walking around and get yourself lost. One of the things about exploring the Hutongs here in Beijing is there's many different Hutongs. And the ones I just came from was the local Hutongs. And that's where you get the real flavor of what Beijing is all about. The one I'm walking down here now, this is really more set up for tourists. And as you look around, there's all these shops, and they're selling stuff that are being made to sell to the tourists. Either way, whether you walk down a local Hutong or walk down the tourist Hutongs, it really gives you the flavor of what I feel Beijing is all about, and it really is an incredible way to explore the city. So continuing my journey around here in Beijing, I've now made my way to the Summer Palace. And really, after walking around the Forbidden City in Tiananmen Square, to come out here and to feel the tranquility that I'm feeling here right now, I understand now why the Emperor would make such an effort to come and spend his summers here. It's definitely 10 degrees cooler than it is in town, and it's just a nice place to come and relax. Even though there's a lot of crowd here, it still has a tranquility that you don't feel anywhere else in Beijing. The beauty here, the architecture, this really is a fantastic place to end my day of my tour here in Beijing. Beijing is home to over 17 million people, and at times this city can be overwhelming. But a great way to escape is to make your way to Jingshan Park. Located behind the Forbidden Palace, this really is an excellent place to come and just escape and enjoy some tranquility. It is so beautiful in this park. Everywhere you look, there's peonies, pine forest. The thing that I've enjoyed the most about this park is the fact that this park is not for tourists. It is being enjoyed by the locals. It's really beautiful to see them come in here and enjoying the tranquility that you find in this park. Another park that I have to highly recommend that's worth a visit here in Beijing is a park behind me, Beihai. And the highlight of visiting this park is the stupa that's on top of the island over there. This stupa was built during the 16th century for the Dalai Lama, and it's a great place to come and just relax for a couple hours before heading back into the streets of Beijing. Beijing is so amazing. This place is nothing what I envisioned, and the main reason is here, the culture is just so intense. And I'm walking over here, and there's people singing music, and I'm in this beautiful location. I'm just going to turn around the camera and share this moment with you. things that I love most about traveling is, I've always said, is that unknown factor that you get when you're on the road. And what just happened over here, listening to these people sing the opera, I've got goosebumps literally on my arms right now. That was breathtaking, and it's just something that is bringing a smile to my face, because wow, that stuff just does not happen every day. And this is one of those moments that even I have to sit there and say, that is a travel on moment if I've ever seen one.
Hello! 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 Hello!
Anyone who's ever watched any of my videos knows that I'm not much into shopping. But one of the things when you do a tour here in Beijing is you're going to get guided to places like this, which is the Jade Shop. And this is a great place to come and see how jade is made, along with an opportunity to buy a few things. While I'm not one to go out and spend this mass fortune on large pieces of jades, they've got everything in here. You can buy stuff from $5 to $5,000. I just did something I never do, and I actually bought myself a souvenir here in China. I got this beautiful jade necklace, and it's one of the things when you come here to Beijing is you're going to get guided into these shops. It's inevitable. You can either accept it or you can go sit in the bus. But for me, it was actually worth making my way in here just to check out this incredible art that's put into this jade. Jade for the Chinese is something very special, and being able to pick up something like this for myself, I consider it a nice gift, and it's something I'll wear for the next several years. Now it's time to head off to the Great Wall of China. When most people think of China, the first image that comes to mind is that of the Great Wall, and for good reason. Not only is it the most iconic symbol of China, it is also one of the 7 wonders of the world. And after walking along these walls for the last couple of days, I now have to say myself, this really is one of the most amazing structures on the planet. There are several different ways to visit the Great Wall. The majority of people make their way to Badaling. This is a great place to come to get an introduction to the Great Wall. The best part about this section of the wall is that it's been completely restored, so it gives you commanding views of the surrounding area, and you get a chance to see what the wall looked like in all its glory. Yeah, this is what, to me, traveling is all about, is being able to say that I have now walked amongst the Great Wall of China. The feeling I have in my heart and my soul right now is just pure magic. I can't even begin to explain the high I'm on right now. This, for me, is every reason why I travel all over the world, is to see beautiful places here like the Great Wall of China. This is a really magical spot. It's a magical moment, and it's something I won't soon forget. I am walking on the Great Wall of China, and as you can see behind me, this crowd is pretty thick. But one of the things that come into this part of the wall, this is the most restored part of the Great Wall of China, so you're going to have crowds here. So one thing you got to keep in mind is there's different ways to see the wall. For the true adventurer, the best way to see the Great Wall of China is to make your way to Jingshan and make the hike all the way to Shanghai. This hike, I personally have to consider one of the greatest hikes in the world. I just did 10 kilometers on the Great Wall of China today, and believe me when I tell you, it was breathtaking. It is truly one of the most amazing hikes I've ever done in my life. The best part about doing this hike along this section of the wall is that you get a sense of history, of stepping back in time. There's different sections of this wall that are literally crumbling beneath your feet, and you have to get off and detour around some of the turrets. But it's because of this that you get the feeling that you are on the Great Wall of China. This isn't for your average tourist. There's a lot of energy and effort that goes into doing this hike. But for myself, I have to say it was 100% worth it. And it's something I won't soon forget. It was my dream to walk on the Great Wall of China, and I would have been disappointed if I hadn't done this trek. That was awesome. Normally I'm not one to tell people how to do their trips, but this is one of the times I have to give my highest recommendation that if you're anywhere near Beijing and you want to see the Great Wall of China, you need to come here to Jingshan and take the hike to Shanghai. It's something you will never forget, and for me personally, it was a highlight of my trip to Beijing. After hiking the Great Wall today, I'm reminded of a quote by Mao Zedong. He who has not climbed the Great Wall is not a true man. And one of the questions that kept coming up is everyone asked, what did your wife get out of it? And Robin, what did you get out of it?
I got a true man. Hi, my name is Robin Murphy and I'm the wife of Michael Murphy, who most of you know as Riley Bay on shrimp films. And there's a little dark secret about Mike that nobody knows about that I do. And I'm going to share it with you tonight, and that is he is a little queasy when it comes to exotic foods. So tonight we're in Beijing and we're at the night market, and I'm going to see if I can't coax him into eating outside of the box. Here we go. Mike, how about a testicle? Mike, how about some stinky tofu? Hey Mike, how about some crickets?
That ain't happening either. No way. Next, let's keep going. Okay, it's not just me. We've got fellow travelers here and they're trying this exotic food, and believe me, I can't eat it, and I absolutely know that. What entices a person to eat things like this?
Peer pressure.
She's been drinking. Oh my, what do you think of that?
It's crunchy, but it's pretty good. It kind of goes pop.
I'm not kidding. I've just watched these people eat these bugs, and there's just no way in hell I could ever do that.
Mike, how about a beer? I know you'll drink a beer, won't you?
Okay. I finally found something at this market that I know I can enjoy. The fish was really good, but ice cold beer. Okay, we've been at this food market here in Beijing, and as you've just discovered, I do have a short gag reflex when it comes to exotic foods. But I did find an ice cold beer, and this is a staple of every true traveler. So at the end of the night, I know I get my calories and I'm okay. Don't ask me to come back here again, Robin. That was disgusting. Travel on.
So it's 3 kwai for a jean, which is half a kilogram.
We have half a kilogram for about 45 cents.
You're the back.
And what are we getting here, guys?
Beer. Qingdao local brew beer.
Beautiful. So cheap. Good. Best for the hangover.
There's a local brewery here in the old town of Qingdao, and this is where so it's popular to get beers like these. You get these local vendors and they sell the beer right on the street, and this is freshly brewed. Probably this was just kegged today probably, or yesterday.
Like I said, they're literally not joking when they say they serve beer in a bag here. I had heard about this in Beijing and wasn't really quite sure about it, but you can see Brandon back there. He's going to serve me up some beer. Well, when in Rome, do as the Romans. When in Qingdao, do as the Qingdaoans. Check it out, beer in a bag.
Now, what I like to do is you take it and you make yourself a little hole. Just like that.
Oh, that's experience right there.
It's pretty amazing. You'll see Dad come home from work though, you know, and he'll have his bag of beer, and he's like had a hard day at work, and he'll get his bag of beer, and he'll be coming home from the office. It's pretty unique to this area.
And Mr. Mike, this one is for you.
I'm here in Qingdao, and this is a port city, and you're seeing all these people down here at the waterfront, and they're all looking it's low tide, so they're all looking in the rocks for crabs. It's really cool, I have to say, and catching up with Brandon and Dave here, really, it's kind of a highlight for me in China, because it's really nice when you can show up in a foreign country and have friends that you can go visit. We're just going to continue making our way around here in Qingdao and exploring, and these boys are running me all over this city. Okay, I'm here with Brandon and Dave, and I'm walking around here. And these guys are taking me, look, we're trying to get back into town right now. We've been drinking 3 bags of beer, and this is the thing of being with the guys from In Deep Films, is they will take you deep into a situation that I'm not really sure if I'm going to get out of right now, but these guys behind me, I've just come to the conclusion, are crazy. So wait, what's that sign say?
Danger. We just jump from this wall, from this danger wall.
Okay, for all you people out there who have seen any of In Deep Films productions, I now understand why they go to these crazy places. They got me climbing over construction sites, climbing over trees, breaking an entry into a park, and I have to say something right now. Travel on. Okay, if you would have told me I was going to come to China and hang out with the boys from In Deep Films and be on a beach, hanging out at a place where there's a weight room, you look down this incredible beach, I would have said, no way. This is not what I envisioned China being like at all. So Brennan, dude, what is this? The Venice Beach of China, or what the fuck is going on here?
It's awesome, but there's like, nobody cares if you're strong or not, and girls walk around. All the weights are crappy, but really fun, and you drink a lot of beer.
You come here to work out, and theoretically it's to get into shape, but you drink beer on the side?
I try not to drink too much beer, but they drink a lot of beer.
Hey, but Arnold Schwarzenegger said, you know, milk is for babies. You know, beer is for these.
This is the thing here in China that I'm blown away by. The friendliness of these people. We're here working out, we're partying, we're on a beach in Qingdao. Really, if it gets any better than this, the rest of my trip in China is just gonna blow me away. Travel on.
Yo, here we are, Qingdao, trying to make a living.
What's going on right now?
We are basically creating a restaurant here on a street in Qingdao where we've talked to the owner. We'll bring in food, Kaoro. Kaoro is barbecue, Chinese barbecue. We'll sit in the streets, play guitar, and we'll just see what comes tonight. And that's how it's done.
Hey, I'm hanging out here in Qingdao with the boys from In Deep Films, and I have to say that right now, I've had an amazing day just traveling around this city. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna just listen to the music, we're gonna have some beers, we're gonna have a good time and just keep continuing partying on through the night. What's gonna happen? I don't know, but all I can say is I'm really impressed with Qingdao. How cool is this? I am on the Bond here in Shanghai, and it is just absolutely awesome out here. I'm not one who's really into cities, but the thing that I've noticed here in China, these cities are not ordinary cities. They're just absolutely incredible. The architecture here in Shanghai is the only other place I've ever been that remarbles this back here is New York City. And the cool part about it is it's just not the tourists from around the world enjoying this place. It's what the people within China are coming here to see the city, because it really is an amazing place. What you're seeing over here is a financial district, and one of the things for me coming here as a builder myself, I consider and really appreciate the effort that is going into building these. Really, Shanghai is an incredible city, and the main reason I did come here was to go visit the Expo. So tomorrow I'm going to go check out the Expo, but the rest of today I'm just going to spend walking along the Bond, seeing how the local people are living, enjoying this beautiful city, and getting a feel of what Shanghai is all about. This really is an amazing city. One of the things I'm noticing here in all the cities in China, much like Beijing and Qingdao, is all of them have central parks, and it's a really great thing in the aspect that you could be walking around these streets, and believe me, it gets a bit chaotic after a while. So you just every once in a while drop into these parks, get a little bit of relaxation, then head back out into the streets. And without this, in a city like Shanghai, you would go crazy. I'm walking down these back streets here in Shanghai, and I'm gonna have to say, this is the essence of what traveling is all about, is getting lost in these back streets. Look at, this is really how the Chinese people live. This is not for tourists. This is to get a feel of what it's like to be living in China today. You can see they're selling food, shoes, everything. The older people are out here enjoying it. And really for me, this is a buzz. And it's hard to explain to people that you don't know this, to show them this part of traveling. Because if you get out of the norm and you start breaking away from where all the tourists are, that is when the good stuff starts to happen. I literally have made 4 or 5 lefts and I literally do not have a clue where I am in Shanghai. I'm going that way. Where it's going, I don't know, but this is the best way to see Shanghai, is just get lost. Okay, well I've now made my way here to Expo 2010 Shanghai. And you can see behind me, this is the main entrance into Expo. This really is an incredible event that's going on here. So I'm going to head inside and enjoy Expo 2010. I'm walking around here at Expo, and the area I am now is in the Southeast Asia part of the world. And what they've really done with this whole pavilion is they've broken it into sections of different regions from around the world. So one of the things you have to give a lot of consideration to is when you come here is what it is you want to see. One of the things here at Expo that you're going to see a lot of is the Chinese running around with passports that are from the Shanghai Expo. And what they're doing with these passports is they're going to every different pavilion and they're literally getting stamps in their passport. And I think that is a great concept to teach them about the world. As myself as a traveler, there's nothing better than having a passport that's full. And for these people, when they leave Expo 2010, their goal is to have their passport full of stamps from around the world.
Wow.
This is so cool. I literally feel like I am traveling around the world in 6 or 7 hours. This is an amazing event, and if you do happen to be in Shanghai, this is now a definite must-see. One of my biggest recommendations I can make to anyone who's going to come to Expo is you got to come midweek. Today the crowds aren't that bad, but the lines are still at least 20, 30, 40 minutes to get into some of these pavilions, so I can't even imagine what it's going to be like on a Saturday or Sunday. I'm really very impressed with some of these pavilions these countries have put together. They really are astonishing. Normally when I visit a city, I'm able to cover a tremendous amount of ground in a single day. But I can tell you right now, one day is definitely not enough to explore Expo 2010 Shanghai. This really is an incredible expo, and the people of Shanghai should be commended for the amazing job they've done putting this show on. As for me, I'm going to head into town, grab myself a couple of ice-cold beers, and just enjoy a beautiful night on the Bon. And with that, my friends, I'm going to have to bid you a farewell. And until we meet again on the road less traveled, as always, travel on. How cool is this? I'm in Xian, China, and this is one of the most historical cities in all of China. This area around here has so many different World Heritage sites that there's no way you can see them all. So what I'm going to do is just start picking a couple that are the key places, try to show you them, but the main reason I came here is to go visit Terracotta Warriors, which I will do tomorrow. I have to say, out of all the places I've been to so far in China, this place has one of the coolest feels to it. There's just a nice vibe about this place. But once again, my highest recommendation is you just need to get lost in these streets. I have not a clue where I am or where I'm going. I'm literally just meandering down these streets, and you get to see cool stuff like this. These people cooking, you actually get to see how the locals live. And really, I think in the essence of all this, that's what this is all about, is I'm experiencing China at the grassroots. And for me, that is a highlight of this trip, is being able to see China for what it is and what it is becoming. I've been walking around here in Xian, and I actually made my way outside of the city walls. And most people, when they visit here, the only place they're going to visit within Xian is within the city walls. But I've discovered this park that circles around the outer wall. And it's just a nice way to see how the Chinese really are living and enjoying their lives. It's a very, very cool area back here. It's very peaceful and tranquil. This is China at its finest right here. Because I only have a day and a half here in Xian, I have to be very careful of what it is I'm trying to see. And basically I've taken off to see some of the main sites, the bell tower, the drum tower, and now I've made my way on top of the city wall that encircles the old town. The best part about right now is it's late afternoon. It's like 7 o'clock in the evening and there is nobody here. I literally have this all to myself. I'm just going to take off walking past the rest of the afternoon and just remember of how fortunate I am to travel to incredible places like this and do this. This is the one thing that when you get out and go exploring, you get to have moments like this. For me, this is what traveling is all about. It's heading off into a destination unknown. Travel on. Here in Xian, there's a lot of different things you can go do to see historical sites, but the main reason people come to Xian is for right here behind me, the Terracotta Warriors. This really is remarkable. I'm sitting here and I can't really even comprehend what it is I'm seeing. How cool is this? The Terracotta Warriors here in Xian. Really, this is one of the highlights of coming to China. And you can't even put it in perspective of how massive these grounds are. We're only at pit 1. There's 3 other pits I'm going to go visit. But there's over 6,000 of these Terracotta Warriors. A farmer was actually just digging a well and he came across this in 1976. I can guarantee you when he saw this, he didn't have a clue what he had discovered. This is one of the greatest archaeological sites ever to be discovered and unearthed. This is pit number 2, and this gives you an example of the excavation that's gone on here. And as you walk around here, you really get to get an appreciation of Chinese history. And for me, that's the main reason I came to Xian, was for the history. You can see this pit right down here below me right here. This is a perfect example of what all of this area would have looked like at one time before they started excavating. They literally took all these pieces down here and put them back together, and that's what you're seeing in pit 1.
The effort that the Chinese have put into restoring the Terracotta Warriors truly is remarkable, and my visit to this historical site is something I won't soon forget. Travel on.
Okay, behind me is the skyline of Chongqing, and I have now begun the last part of my journey here in China. I am sailing down the Yangtze River. As a traveler, this is something I've always dreamed of doing, and for me, this is the very essence of why I came to China, was to explore what I'm going to see in these next 2 days. Tonight, I'm just going to sit around, enjoy a couple of beers, enjoy the evening, and tomorrow get up and hit it hard as I take off to explore the Yangtze River in China. So this is the first day of my cruise on the Yangtze River, and I'm here in Fengdu, in the Ghost City. And we just did this incredible hike right up the side of the mountain. But these grounds are magnificent. This pagoda, back here you have this incredible temple, and with all this mist and fog in the air, you get a real sense of spirituality up here. And it really, for me, is giving me the essence of the history and what China is all about, and that's the mystique of this incredible country. One of the things here in China that's a bit overwhelming are the crowds. And when you come up to here, to a place like Fengdu in the Ghost City, there is ways to get away from it. You just walk away from the masses, and I'm on the back side here overlooking the entire valley, and it's just a good way to come, relax and regenerate yourself, because believe me, after a couple of weeks of dealing with 1 billion people, it does begin to wear on you. But for me right now, I've got this to myself, and I'm just going to turn around, show you this, and enjoy the moment. Okay, this is the last part of my trip here in China, and I'm on the Yangtze River, cruising through the 3 gorges, and it is absolutely spectacular. The sun's come out, it's a beautiful day. I'm getting to see some of the most incredible scenery to be found anywhere in China. You look behind me here, we're coming through these gorges, but the thing that's impressed me the most is when the government decided to build the 3 Gorge Dam, they moved 1 million+ people.
and they built entirely new cities along the hillsides.
And as we've come by them, it's like I've been duly impressed with what I've seen. China is in one of the most incredible countries I've ever been into. The history, the culture, everything I'm seeing along here in the Yangtze is just beautiful. It's been so amazing for me to be able to come here and experience this. As I'm coming through this gorge, it's just stunning everywhere. And it's one of those things that I'm reminded that when you make an effort to put yourself in magical places, special things happen. And this whole trip for me is just blowing me away.
This really was an incredible trip, and I am now a huge fan of China. And with that, my friends, I'll bid you farewell as Destination Unknown wraps up an incredible adventure here in China. And until we meet again on the road less traveled, as always, travel on.